Alright guys, what is up? It is Dr. Greninja here and welcome to a kind of a different TCG video this time. So usually my TCG videos are around deck making videos and gameplay about those decks, but this time, I felt like yapping a little bit, because last season I did hit Masters for the first time, so I was really happy with that. And I kind of want to share the top five decks that I really used to climb from Ultra Ball to Masters. So to be clear, I played the first season of TCG Ranked, and I ended up in Ultra Ball 2. So from there, so in the new season, they place you in a closer division to what you ended up last season. So I ended up Ultra Ball 2 that season, and then they ended up placing me in Ultra Ball 1 in this season. So the climb was from Ultra Ball 1 to Masters. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the top 5 decks that I kind of used to get to Masters. I ended up clutching it on the last day, so yeah, it was a crazy grind. I think I played like over like 400 games. I don't even know if I had a positive win rate. I think I just barely did, like 50.5%, something like that. But anyways, it was tough, but it was very fun. And I think a main thing that contributed to that was the rare candy meta. Like, it made the game so refreshing. Towards the ending of last season, the first season of TCG, dude, I was honestly just not having too much fun with the game because of the amount of Darkrai and Giratina and decks like that would be versing. I personally never used Darkrai and Giratina. I don't really like to use decks like that, just because I feel like it's so cheesy and just like the easiest way to win. And like, personally, for me to have fun in the game is I like to use some meta things here and there, but I like to do off meta. I like to have fun, make fun decks, try out new things. So Darkrai Giratina I never really wanted to use it. But bursting it just, it annoyed me. So anyways, here are the 5 decks that I kind of used from Ultra Ball 1 to Masters. So I'm going to start off, or I'm going to talk about the decks in order, basically, what kind of got me from like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to Masters. So yeah, let's just start. So the first deck we got was this Meowscarada and Beedrill deck. So we are running 1 copy of Beedrill, Weedle, and Kakuna, and then we're gonna run 2 copies of Sprigatito, Meowscarada, 1 Florgato because of rare candy, obviously. We really only needed 1 middle evolution of Florgato, and then a bunch of supporter cards. This season especially. Dude, Grass was super strong, especially towards the ending with Meowscarada and Decidueye. Yeah, I mean, Grass had so much support, dude. Like, Meowscarada already, such a good EX killer, dude. I mean, if you guys don't know, it does 60 damage for 2 energy, and then if it is an EX, it is 70 more. So already off the bat, every EX we're hitting for 130. On top of that, we have Red now, or we always had Red, but Red increased that to 150 for an EX. Rare candy to boost. We had Erica to heal. We had Sabrina. We even had Lily to heal us for 60 HP. But I preferred Erica in this deck just to heal Florgato or Weedle in case we were bricking a little bit, just to get some survivability. So Erica, Sabrina, Cyrus. I mean, Cyrus I feel like was so essential in all decks, or almost all decks now. Iono to reroll, and then I think we only ran 1. Yeah, we only ran 1 Pokeball because there's only 3 basics anyways. So yeah, and then we had the 2 Capes, which was really nice. I mean, we're getting plus 30 HP on any grass. So Beedrill, we're literally full HP. Cape is 200 HP, and then Meowscarada full Cape was 170. So even a Stoke Charizard could not one-shot Beedrill, and he did one-shot Meowscarada though. But anyways, I feel like one of the main reasons this deck worked out really well at the beginning was I had a lot to do with the previous season, right? People were still kind of playing Darkrai Giratina. People still are, I mean, it's still mad strong. But everyone still kind of came off the last season playing Darkrai Giratina. And what is the best way, I think, to beat Darkrai Giratina? Dude, this card, Meowscarada right here. As I explained earlier, 130 to EXs, which Darkrai and Giratina both are. On top of that, Darkrai is weak to grass. So without red, we're doing 130 Darkrai plus the weakness, so that's a 150. So that's, and Darkrai has 140 HP, right? So we're doing 150, so that's a straight one shot right there. And then even with the cape, Darkrai gets 160. So Cape Darkrai still gets a one-shot with a red because we're doing 150, 170 damage, which is nuts. So yeah, definitely Masquerada had such a big contribution to how I got to kind of out of Ultra Ball 1 for sure. Masquerada was great. Everyone was using EXs. Everyone was rare candying EXs. And dude, yeah, Masquerada was cooking. It was cooking at the beginning for sure. And it still was towards the end, but we'll talk about that later. And then, yeah, we ran one copy of Beedrill. I mean, I feel like we only needed one because the main person in this deck was Masquerada. But Beedrill was nice too when we got it up and going. I mean, dude, it's a great card. 170 HP, 80 damage per 2. And then the main thing here was it discards a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, which was huge. Like, it literally won you games doing that. People think they were about to like get their 4th, 3rd energy to attack. Crushing Spirit Beedrill, gone. So yeah, this definitely was a great first deck to kind of get out of the Ultra Ball 1 to Ultra Ball 2 or Ultra Ball 1. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this deck, it was solid. It was solid. I had a lot of fun playing this deck. And yeah, let's go on to deck 2. So deck 2, oh my god, dude. This is a deck that actually I made myself. So throughout the rank season in the rare candy meta, things change, right? For the most part, some decks are gonna kind of stay the same, but as people start to get used to rare candy meta and start to mix and match different things, right? People start to make new decks, and big YouTubers are gonna put out these decks that people love using, and they're gonna kind of start to rotate towards the deck, right? So the rare candy meta for the most part will stay the same, but new cards and new things will start to happen, right? So I feel like around this time when I made this deck is when this guy right here became popular, Barry with the Snorlax. So I actually had the deck list here, or a tier list of the current or the last season meta, and I think it's a pretty good one. I mean, we're only going to focus on A plus, and S. But if we look at A, so let's see, we have this was really big here. So we have this Snorlax and Greninja deck, which people started doing. So if you guys don't know, Snorlax hits for 100 damage with 4 energy, but Berry actually reduces that down to 2 less energy. So Berry started to be really popular in Snorlax just because of that early unexpected damage, right? People are running Greninja, I mean, literally anything from the starting, and definitely more towards the ending of the season. There were a lot of Greninja cards, but yeah, a big inspiration to my, ignore that. A big inspiration to this Staraptor deck was Berry for sure, because I was like, okay, let's look at Berry, right? Because Berry works super well with Snorlax, but who else could we pair it with, right? So if we look at Berry, we're doing your attacks by Snorlax, Heracross, and Staraptor cost 2 less energy, right? So we know Snorlax hits for 100 for 4 energy. Cut that down to 2 using Berry. Let's look at Heracross now, right? Heracross does, honestly, it is not a good card. I think it's like 3 energy, and hopefully I can pop it up here, but I believe it's 3 energy. It does 50 damage, and you have to roll both heads. When you attack, you roll 2 coins. If you roll both heads, it does like 100 or 80 extra damage, which is pretty bad, I think. I mean, 3 energy for 50, potentially 140, but you have to high roll. Like, it's super hard, right? So I'm like, Heracross is GG. Like, there's no way we're probably gonna make a Heracross deck, right? So let's take a look at Staraptor, and there's a couple Staraptor cards. I'll see if I can put it up here, but I believe there's like 2 or 3 different ones, right? This one definitely caught my eye. Like, if you look at this, right, 150 HP, 130 damage, and does 20 damage to herself, which is okay. Now, Giratina is literally the same thing, right? 150 HP, 130 damage for 4 energy, right, and 20 damage to herself. Literally another Giratina, but with a Gary, dude, using Berry, we're attacking for 130 with a 1 energy. Just take that in. How wild is that? And the whole point of rare candy meta, right, was to ramp up as quick as you can, right? Dude, what other better way to ramp up than a Brave Bird? Like, imagine this. All right, chat, real quick. Okay, turn 1, right? You start off first. you place your Starly, right? You place your Starly, any one of them, and I'll explain the two different Starlies in a bit. So you place any Starly, right? And in your hand, you have rare candy, right? You have rare candy, and you have berry, which actually, like, it happened, like, you might think it might not happen a lot, but it actually happened like a decent amount, right? On top of that, we had Iona to reroll in case we break super hard. So turn 1, we put out our Starly, and then we have rare candy and berry in the back, right? Turn 2, they put out their Pokemon, whatever. They attack you, it's okay. You're most likely gonna live, you're probably gonna live, right? 60 HP, 50 HP, probably gonna live. Now, turn 3, Starly, rare candies, become Staraptor. You attach the energy to it, and you use berry. Turn 3, you're hitting for 130 damage on turn 3. It's crazy. It's actually wild, bro. Like, it works so well. And I ran it with Giratina because, and you'll notice throughout especially the end of the season, Pokemon that can kind of like self-energy themselves became really good. I don't know if you guys know, but I think the only 2 Pokemon are Giratina and Magnezone, and they became very popular. Giratina's obviously popular, but Magnezone specifically became very popular because both of those Pokemon, you can get energy by themselves, right? So once you have Giratina on the deck, and even if you can attack, you're not wasting a turn, which is the main thing here, right? The main thing is, even if we're not able to attack, we can always use Broken Space Bellow, we energy onto a Giratina, and we have it ready. The whole point is to have it ready in the back in case the Raptor dies. We come in and hit for 130. And even if we do not start with Starly, we start with Giratina, and we're running only Psychic Energy, remember that, because Staraptor is colorless, right? So running Psychic Energy, so even if we start Giratina, we're ramping up super quick, right? Super quick. So, dude, I was really happy with this deck. What else? And yes, the 2 Starlies. So these 2 Starlies. Alright, so as you can see, we ran this one that only has 50 HP, does 20, but the main thing I loved here was the Pluck. Pluck discards all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon. Now, in Ultra Ball 2, when I was playing this deck, I felt like this worked really well because, I mean, everyone was running, I say 90% of decks are running Pokemon tools, right? And no one expects, like, Starly to, or no one's expecting you to use a Starly that discards Pokemon tools. I think this is the only move that does it too, right? Let me know in the comments, I might be wrong, but before Guzma came out, this is the only Pokemon attack that discarded Pokemon tools, right? Which was really nice. The only thing here that was bad was the 50 HP, because that's when, or when I stopped using this deck, is basically when, you guys know the deck that I'm about to bring out, the Soul Galeo and Skarmory deck started becoming popular. So if you guys don't know, Skarmory would hit for 20 damage, right? Totally calm. But if this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached to it, this attack does 30 more damage. So people would run, as you can see, you know, Skarmory could try to start off and then energy up Soul Galeo on the back, and they would run 2, 4, I mean like 5, let's say 4 to 6 tools. So most likely turn 1, you're gonna get Skarmory, you're gonna get your helmet or your tool, and you're gonna hit for 50. So that's when this Starly was not the best choice, because you could get one shot turn 2. So I think towards the end I put both of this Starly, the one with 60 HP and 20, just so we can survive at least the first turn. But before that was too meta. This was a really nice, really nice attack that caught your opponents off guard, which was really nice. What else? We ran 1 Staravia, 30 HP, I mean 30, hit for 30, 80 HP, which was really nice. 2 capes for survivability. I felt like I didn't really need a Rocky Helmet in most of these cases. I kind of just wanted to live, especially because we're taking 20 from ourselves here and on Staraptor. And yeah, I actually ran a red card. This is like my first deck that I started running red card, and dude, it was wild, bro. It was wild. Like, I feel like there were so many games where I felt like the opponent, sometimes you can kind of tell when the opponent has the certain evolution in their hand, right? They're playing the energy on the back, so you know that they're eventually gonna evolve the back one. Or if they have like a certain trainer that you think they have, or you know they have, right? Red card, dude, it was so good. It was so good. For you guys that don't know, so what it does is your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws 3 cards. It was so nice. It was so nice. It definitely caused some rage quits. And even when it happened to me, dude, I'm like, I don't even want to play the game anymore, you know? So, dude, red card was a nice addition to this deck. Really happy with that. And then normal things, we had the Oaks, or Professor Research. We had Berry, obviously, to ramp Staraptor super quick. Iono to reroll, which is nice. Pokeball, and then Rare Candy, obviously, to ramp up Staraptor. So, I was really happy with this deck. I have a video for this deck as well. Yeah, if you guys want to check that out, I will link that to this video. But yeah, this deck basically got me, like, I think almost fully out of Ultra Ball 2. Like, maybe I played some other things here and there, but for the most part, it was this deck. And like, dude, like, the main thing is no one expects like Staraptor, right? Like, everyone was like, what? Like, when you're playing ranked, you start to learn the meta, and you know what people have, you know how much damage you're gonna take, things like that. But dude, everyone was like, dude, when the 130 hit them, like the third turn, it was wild, bro. It was wild. Like, forfeits right after that. So really had fun with this deck, and I probably will still use this in the next season, hopefully, if it's still viable, a little bit viable at least. So yeah, that is that deck, Staraptor. Alright, let's go on to deck 3. Alright, man, and I'm sure this deck came out, I think, like, probably the week or 2 before the ranked season end, and I believe this was a deck that was brought out in a tournament. So this deck got pretty popular pretty quick, and I actually can't, like, explain, like, how well this deck meshes together. Like, it's wild. So we are running the Gengar. The Gengar that does that has 140 HP, hits for 70, and the main thing here that honestly won so many games was the Hypnoblast that does 70 damage and puts your active Pokemon to sleep. So it was crazy, dude. It was crazy. There's so many games, and I think I have a video showing this deck, like, what a crazy comeback win against Meowscarada Decidueye, where I think they fell asleep or they rolled tails like 8 out of 9 times, which is the only reason that won the game. So this Gengar deck was insane, and yeah, I can't explain how well it meshed together. So 70 damage, already really good, right? We're already hitting, like, for almost half of most EXs, right? So this was really nice. Sleep was a great bonus to it. Oricorio, dude, this is literally like, it's Marshadow on crack. Marshadow uses 2 energy. It hits for 100. I think it's for 80 or 100. Let me know. Either way, 80 or 100 if the last Pokemon was knocked out, right? This Oricorio, 70 HP, which is not the best, but the whole point of it was to keep it in the back, and when someone was knocked out, we come in and hit for 80 damage, which was absolutely crazy, dude. It literally won you so many games. Even if you didn't have Gengar, like if you were bricking and you were not getting Ghastly, no Haunter, no Gengar, Oricorio and Lele could literally win you games alone. Like, I kid you not. It was wild. It was wild. So Oricorio was really nice to keep in the back, just for a big hitter in case we got knocked out. And especially when we're bricking, we're not getting Gengar, our main guy here. It came in clutch, guys, I'm telling you. So 1 copy of Oricorio. And yeah, I mean, Tapu Lele towards the ending of the season, mid-ending of the season, started to become so popular. Let's take a look at the deck lists, actually. And I mean, there's so many decks that ran Lele, I feel like. Okay, I felt like there were a lot more. I don't know, like, are they not, like, just showing it? But I felt like I versed a lot of Tapu Leles towards the ending. Here, maybe? Okay, I don't know. Different tier lists are different, but I felt like I was versing a lot of Tapu Leles. They had the Lele, Greninja, like Giratina, Darkrai, Oricorios with Lele. Like, I felt like Lele was really good towards the end. So if you guys don't know, so 2 copies of Lele here, and our Energy Arrow does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So that means, oh, let's finish it. So 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to that Pokemon. So not only are we able to hit the bench if they have energy attached to it, meaning that people in the back aren't able to ramp up, or even if they are, we're hitting them for so much it does 20 for each energy attached. Like, think of that immediately. Darkrai, Giratina. Giratina is in the back, energying up, right? So instead of hitting the front, which they're most likely not going to ramp up, dude, you just hit the Giratina. Let's say 3 energy on the Giratina in the back. We're hitting that for 60 damage, right? Which is already so much for 1 energy, especially too, right? We hit it for 60 in the back. 4 energy Giratina hitting for 80, and then we have Cyrus to bring him in. So you hit the person in the back who's ramping up their energy, Cyrus them in if they're not in, and just keep hitting. Like, you can keep hitting with this guy. If you get knocked out, you Cyrus in, hit him for 80. You have your Gengar here for 70. Like, it was great. It was honestly so good. Giovanni, and dude, I can't explain how much I loved Giovanni in this deck. It got me so many wins because people do not expect Giovanni nowadays, right? Everyone has red because everyone is running EXs, but no one is expecting the Giovannis, man. Like, there's so many times where people literally had, like, let's say 90 HP and 80 HP, right? Giovanni comes in, plus 10 to Hypnoblast is 80. Dude, kills them. Like, they're not expecting it. Oricorio as well. Like, let's say you're hitting Gengar. Let's say you hit someone with a Hypnoblast for 70 damage, right? And they live with 90, right? So you have the Oricorio in the back. They're expecting you to hit for 80. Dude, you bring in the Oricorio, you put the Giovanni, no one expects it. Like, it is insane. It works so well. It works so well. Like, the 70 damage here, 80 damage here, and then this 20 to each energy, everything worked out so perfectly. So Giovanni, amazing in this deck. Communication to kind of search for Gengar or whatever we really needed. Like, for most of the time it would be for Gengar, but sometimes you need Lele to win your games, and that's where you communicate. So always good to have this in case you need to reroll or look for another Pokemon. We run 1 Cape, and Cape works really well here. I mean, Gengar already enough, pretty tanky, 140 HP. So we're living a Giratina hit. We live. Let me actually look at the deck list here, right? Solgaleo, we're living, right, because it does 120. Charizard, see, the big thing, Charizard hits are 150, but we will not live unless we have a Cape, so a Cape is alive in that case. Rampardos, 130, we live that. Garchomp, we live. Arceus EX, even, if it's fully stacked on the bench, because it does 70 plus 20 for each bench, so max damage here is we're doing 130, we're living that. Even with Giovanni 140, we're living that. So that's really nice. And then paired with Crobat as well, 130, 160. So that kind of kills us. But what are the chances of Arceus really stacked up plus Crobat in the back? So, but Cape was really nice. Oops. Yeah, Cape was really nice here just to get that extra survivability. For Gengar, Oricorio, it didn't really work too much because we're already low HP. And then oops, sorry about that. Yeah, I love you. Alright, so, sorry guys, this is my mom. Alright, anyways, so, where was I going? Yes, and then Cape actually helped us with Lele a lot to survive some hits, so. What else do we have here? Cyrus, Lele, hits. Okay, wait, I need a second, Oh my, dude, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh. Okay, so, yeah, let's go. Yeah, so Lele hits in the back. You're able to Cyrus in, which is why we need Cyrus. 2 Pokeballs, 2 Oaks, Rare Candy for Gengar, and then Guzma actually came in really clutch here. And I thought about changing out Guzma, mainly because there are a lot of games, or some games, where it wasn't needed. But I feel like in the games where I used it, like, it was a real surprise, and it definitely won me the game. So I kept the Guzma, plus I had the cool Furlock card, so, you know, I'm like, why not? So Guzma was really nice. And then Lily, I mean, to heal up our Gengar, that yeah, it won us a lot of games. Even though this only worked for Gengar, it was really nice to get that extra heal, man. So I think that is the Gengar deck. And yeah, so that's 3. What do we got? Next deck. Oh, do we have double? So wait, this is... yeah. Am I missing? Let's go to my decks real quick. So it should be... oh yeah, it's probably this one. Oopsie daisies. Okay, yeah, so... wait. Okay, we gotta switch this. Okay, so... ignore that, guys. You guys totally didn't see that last deck over there. Okay, so deck 4, we have so we have 3 Pokemon here. We have Lycanroc, we have Rampardos, and then we have Aerodactyl. So this deck works. So now I'm in, let's see, this deck got me basically like, this was like Ultra Ball 3 / kind of, yeah, I'm gonna say mainly Ultra Ball 3 is when I use this deck. So let's say here I'm in Ultra Ball 4, right? Yeah, let's say I'm like a little bit past Ultra Ball 4. Like I have a couple points Ultra Ball 4. Gengar went crazy, I think like 7 to 8 game win streak. Ultra Ball 3, somewhat Ultra Ball 4, but Ultra Ball 4, we have Lycanroc, Rampardos, and Aerodactyl, and this deck worked so well, man. So well. Like, it was crazy. Okay, so let me explain. So this is definitely like towards, you know, the season is ending up or wrapping up, and we're getting a bunch of evolution decks now. More than usual, right? So let's take a look here, right? What do we got? Let's look at A+ and S. So Giratina and Darkrai, it actually worked really well against this too, because if you take a look at the deck list, so we actually run 1 copy of Rockruff and 1 Lycanroc. So, and then the fossils obviously don't count as basic Pokemon. So I love the consistency because that means we always start with Rockruff, right? Which is really nice. And using Signs of Evolution, that always gets us our Lycanroc. So that means we're always getting Lycanroc. Most likely by this time, or not, let's say not most likely, but half of the time here, they're already going to have a rare candy and evolve their Pokemon, which means we're already hitting for 100 damage here, like turn 3, turn 4, which is super good for only 2 energy. And the really low-key thing I liked about Lycanroc was that even if they didn't have more HP than us, so let's read out Bloodfang for a second, right? So if your opponent's active Pokemon has more remaining HP than this Pokemon, this attack does 50 more damage, right? So usually by turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, people already have their final evolution because of rare candy, right? So we're able to hit for 100 damage here. And this worked well for Darkrai Giratina because they already have so much HP starting off, right? So we're hitting for 100 HP. Now, even if they don't, let's look at meta decks again, right? So let's say Skarmory, let's say Charizard's with Charmander, Sprigatito with Decidueye. All these starter Pokemon have about 60 HP, let's say, right? 60, 70 HP. Dude, the amount of times I was able to Giovanni and just end them turn 1, or like the first turn I was attacking, it was nuts. It was nuts, bro. No one expected a Giovanni and a 60 damage. Like, most starter Pokemon are gonna have 60 damage, and most people aren't gonna put the cape on yet, you know, because they're able to evolve eventually. So Bloodfang worked so well, so well here. You hit for 60, even without it, 50 is still a lot. And then on top of that, you have, if they have more HP than you, 100 damage. Like, Lycanroc, so good, so consistent here. We always started with Rockruff, always got Lycanroc. The only thing here was if you got Mars in red after you use this, it was kind of, it kind of sucked. It kind of sucked. But yeah, Lycanroc was really, really good here. Let's talk about Aerodactyl now, dude. Probably like the star of this deck, honestly, because for you guys who don't know, the ability, your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. This was huge in rare candy meta. It was huge. Now I know what you're thinking, like a lot of times people are gonna try to start evolving the back, or evolve their bench, which is still okay because this ability only works for active Pokemon, but like having the ability to completely nullify evolution for the starter worked really well. And especially, I want to point out, towards the ending of ranked, I was versing a lot of Charizards, a lot of Incineroars, a lot of Sprigatitos, Decidueye, Masquerada, and they really wanted to ramp the active Pokemon. So like having the old Amber out like second turn and then evolving an Aerodactyl third turn, negating that evolution, it stopped so much. And having that, so you keep Aerodactyl in the back for the ability and then attacking with Lycanroc, it was such a great combo, dude. It was amazing. So good. So Aerodactyl really put in the work. I mean, we can even luck like evolution here, right? Evolution or Greninja. Evolution here, evolution, no evolution. Like a lot of the A decks like revolve so much around evolution, and that's the whole meta with Rare Candy, right? So yeah, Aerodactyl, it really came in the clutch, dude. And then even besides that, like 80 damage was still really solid for 2, so I was happy with it. The only thing is, it is an EX, so if it does die, that's 2 points. And on top of that, it is kind of hard to pull the Amber and Fossil sometimes, but for the most part, you got it. Like, I was able to get at least 1, and then we have Iona to reroll as well, right? So it worked out well. We ran 1 Cape, 1 Rocky Helmet, just because I felt like there's different situations where each tool was better, so I didn't want to run 2 Capes, 2 Helmet. 1 Helmet, 1 Helmet, or 1 Helmet, 1 Cape worked really well for me, so that was nice. Cyrus, obviously, Professor's Research, and then Rare Candy Rampardos, dude. I mean, it's so popular. Like, Rampardos is here with Garchomp, with Lucario. I honestly don't know why it's here, like A+, but anyways. Excuse me. Rampardos, Rare Candy was freaking strong, dude, so it was crazy. Rare Candy into one energy to hit for 130. Wild. So this deck really kind of, I'd say like from Ultra Ball 4, the beginning-ish, to almost the end, maybe like the last 5-6 games is where it got me up to, where I needed like maybe like 100 to 70 points is like where I really played this one. Like that I needed left to get to Master Ball. So this deck really held it down. And let's just go on to the last deck, man. And I think, well, I posted a video for this deck as well. This deck I also have a video. I think this is the only deck I didn't make a video for. So the last deck that really got me through the finish line to Masters was this one right here, the Gallade 2 Master deck. Oh man, so dude, this is just it is Gallade and Rampardos again, Rare Candy, and let's just look at Gallade, like what he does, dude. He does 70 damage with Energized Blade, and the main thing here is we're doing 20 more damage to each energy attached to your active Pokemon. So really towards the ending, and like by that I literally mean like the last like day, the last 2 days, because that's when I hit Master. I was versing a lot of Giratina Darkrai's, a lot of Charizards. Let's look at this again. Soul Galeo, it didn't help too much, but yeah, Carnivine, Arceus, like Charizard is attacking with 5 energy, Giratina with 3, Darkrai with 3, no, Giratina with 4, Darkrai with 3, Arceus with 3, and is weak to fighting. So I really felt like towards the ending, like Gallade was just the better choice here than the rest of the decks, like, because our Energized Blade at this point was hitting, let's see, Charizard needs 5 energy to attack, right? So that's 5 times 20, 100. We're hitting for 170, dude. 170. Insane damage, right? 170 to Charizard, 150 to Giratina, 130 to Darkrai. Like, Gallade worked out so well against these high energy Pokemon decks. So I love the Gallade, and then obviously I explained that Rampardos in the last deck. I mean, dude, it's just so good. Rare Candy worked for both these Pokemon here, Ralts and Rampardos. I ended up running this version of Ralts because we can always teleport into our bench Pokemon if we were bricking, and we could save an energy, which was really nice. one Kirlia, one Cranidos, and then yeah, I mean 1K Cyrus, obviously Iono to reroll, Pokeball, Rare Candy, and then Lily helped both Gallade and Rampardos for healing. So I mean, yeah, this was really the deck that got me through it, man. Like, and if we're looking at it, like, again, Charizard, it killed Rampardos and Garchomp. I felt like it did really well. Arceus got really popular, and we're hitting for like a low 70 plus 20, 90 because of the weakness. So yeah, I mean, I loved Gallade towards the ending, man. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of these are the 5 decks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah, that is kind of the 5 decks that I used to get to Masters, man. It was a journey, it was a climb. You know, you get tilted here and there, but again, this meta was super fun and refreshing for me. I had so much fun playing, making this video, making all my deck videos, making different decks. But dude, TCG, I'm looking forward to next season. I don't know how they're gonna top this meta, but I know with Rare Candy, the meta should always be pretty fun. So yeah, just looking forward to next season, and I think I'm gonna end it off there, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed me yapping about about TCG for like the last 36 minutes, and yeah, hopefully you guys can maybe use some of these decks if they're still viable in the next season. I'll definitely be making some updated decks, and especially with Ultra Beasts, trying to make a deck like every day for those. And yeah, man, yeah, that's I think I'll end it up there. If you guys like the video, hit the like, subscribe, and dude, it was, yeah, I love talking about TCG and love the game. So yeah, I'll see you guys either on the next deck making video, maybe another video where I'm yapping, who knows. Let me know if you guys like this sort of video where I just talk about TCG, talk about the decks that got me to Masters, things like that. But yeah, I'm ended up there, and I will see you guys on the next video.